Hi everyone, Chillax here, and welcome to my first ever Anchor Panic video. Now, as you see before you, the Union Siege boss will be going down in about 3 hours, and I know that 2 weeks from now, when the Union Siege boss returns, the boss will be different. However, I think this video could still be useful for some folks who maybe you are not really sure how to build your teams, or maybe you don't know how to optimally build your characters in terms of models to equip, model sets to equip, or how to remodel the stats of your units. So we will be going over that today. Basically, for today's video, we'll be going over the 3 teams that I personally use for Union Siege, and we'll go over the builds of all my units. As you can see here, I am in the rank 1 guild Void. As you can see, we're in a pretty big lead right now, and I am the 7th highest contribution for my guild. So hopefully this will serve to be useful for you. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start with my 3rd team. It's my lowest scoring team, but it's probably a team that you might need to see the most, because I know a lot of people don't even bother with their 3rd run because they don't think they can score high enough. But I can confidently say that with the right setup and maybe a little bit of RNG restarting, you can easily get a run that still scores about 2 to 3 mil like I can with this particular team. Now, the way this team works is that we are running a full ice core in the form of our DPS Eucaly, our stun hero Lengjiao, as well as our breaker Abyssal. Now, Abyssal, the reason she's positioned here is because she is focused front row, but the only one in the front of this row is the boss. So this allows you to start bringing down the opponent's tenacity break gauge from turn 1 onwards, and this will help you optimize your damage output. And then we have Lengjiao. Lengjiao, she is here because when she freezes the enemy, not only does it improve your survivability, but it also makes it so that if you freeze the boss when she has any amount of break meter still available, the break gauge does decrease by, I want to say, like 33 to 50%. It's quite a significant amount. A lot of people don't know that. So yeah, Lengjiao is there to also break and to improve survivability. And then Eucaly, of course, is your DPS. Quasar is in the back. She'll be the primary target of the boss, protecting the team. And then you have Streyne to heal all your allies, as well as to improve the damage output of your team with, I believe, her Ascension. And then in terms of builds, Quasar, I have her 4-piece block rate, 2-piece HP. I try to remodel for defensive stats. This is my sigil. I know it's offensive, but I randomly rolled this on my 2nd roll and decided to keep it. Yeah, but you can also opt for defensive and power attributes as well. For skills for all your heroes, try to go at least 10, 10, 10. And then for Abyssal, she's a breaker, yes, but her ability to reduce the enemy's ice resistance by 15%, you can improve the probability with the 2-piece precision set. It gets her to about, I want to say, 40% chance to apply the debuff. Yeah, like a 41% chance, which, you know, we'll take it, right? And then yeah, you could actually run 4-piece precision as well, although she does hit pretty decently. I know these are more defensive remodels, which are okay actually, because I think towards the end, against this phase 14 difficulty of Reyna, Quasar does die on turn 6 or 7 for me, so having a tanky Abyssal holds the line for 2 more rounds so that my main hypercarry Eucaly doesn't flat out die. And then for Eucaly, ideally you want 4-piece ice and 2-piece attack percent. I have block rate for PvP purposes, but remodels you can lean more. Like as you can see here, I have almost 10 out of 10 crit rate and crit damage. This is pretty good. And then for sigils, try to go for ice damage, crit rate, defense penetration, or speed. Try to max out your sigils or your skills if you can. Streyne. The one thing I will say, and I always forget this on my recordings, for this module, always go for speed. This module, if you are going DPS, go crit rate. If anyone else, go base HP percent. For the final, it really depends. For your DPSs, it's going to be crit damage percent. For your healers that scale off of HP, or your shielders that scale off of HP, it's going to be HP. In the case of Streyne, her heals scale off of attack, so I go with attack. And for remodels, sometimes if I see attack, I'll leave it as well. But I try to make her as defensive as possible, because if the healer dies, the team typically dies. And then for sigils, healing boost is ideal. If Streyne doesn't have a signature sigil, I personally like Unknown Spiral Sequence the best because 16.8% healing boost is pretty massive. I happen to also have a max level healing boost, so my Streyne heals for like at least 30k per unit. Pretty insane. Yeah. And then for Lengjiao, I like to have 4-piece precision because the additional 16% effect hit rate at max stacks, allows her to freeze with 51% freeze chance, which is pretty good. Makes it so you don't have to restart the match as frequently. Yeah, so that's pretty much this team. It is capable of scoring 3 mil on a good day. Alright, so this is team number 2. This team can score anywhere between 6 mil to 8 mil, depending on how many times you crit and how you build your units. So the way this team works is it's a full quantum team. You have 2 breakers in the form of Newcastle and Ifrit, who are capable of fully breaking the boss every 2 to 3 turns, which is pretty nice. I have them positioned as such because they are both opposite front row, and the only one in the front row is the boss. So they will be breaking the boss right from the start. And then Newcastle is positioned in between as many quantum units as possible, because anyone within a 3x3 grid will receive an 18% quantum damage boost from her second passive, which is quite nice. I like this team a lot because Newcastle, Ifrit, and Tiya all do decent damage. Tiya especially when you have her signature sigil. And this is an example of my Empower stats and my module builds. I have her a little bit faster for PvP purposes. However, you could also go with attack percent, and I have her on a full remodel offensive build. Max out your skills if you can. And then for Ifrit, my Ifrit is less developed. I have her on block rate, that way she doesn't die in the front row. And I kept a little bit of defensive stats to keep her alive. For her sigils, I could build her more offensively. This is literally my second Empower, so I just kept it. But you could go more defensive if you so choose. And then I always keep forgetting this, but for all your offensive units, go speed, crit rate, crit damage. For your defensive units, like Lilira, for instance, you're going to go speed, base HP, and her heals scale off of HP, so that's why I have her on HP for module number 6. And then full defensive, and then max out her skills as well. The thing about Lilira is that her Ascension 3 allows her to revive an ally once per game per match. And so this is the reason why I have Tern here. I have Tern, sorry, this is not Tern. I have Tern fully defensive build, of course with the 2-piece speed for PvP reasons, but I do have her relatively tanky. I need to fix this, but yeah, I do have her relatively tanky. I kept crit rate because on my second remodel I rolled a 10 out of 10 crit rate and I decided just to keep it. But ideally you want her more defensive. The speed is very important, obviously, because you want her to provide the attack buff for the party as well as the deflection field for the party right from the start, as well as the drone support and all that from her sigils. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this team. Alright, so this is my highest scoring team. It basically runs the Electro shell in the form of Abyssal, Alicia, Ling, and Echo. And it also runs another premium breaker in the form of Rose, who also provides a ton of DPS with her follow-up attacks. And we have Flicker shielding the party so that you don't die on rounds 4 or 5 with the enemy doing a skill and a burst at the same time. Now, unfortunately, when you get to phase 14, even Flicker dies, and because you don't have Lilira in the party, so she'll remain, you know, not there. So if you are on phase 10 or above, or you're just having a really hard time surviving, then you can do something like this, which is actually what I had to do for this phase. And also you can replace Flicker with Karanissa if you don't have survival issues, if say Echo's passive healing is enough to heal you. This team with Flicker can score about 8 mil to 12 mil. If you, instead of Flicker, have Streyne, it can score 15 mil or higher. And you know, with Karanissa, you know, you can also score 15 mil or higher, but as you get higher in the phases, the difficulties like ramps up like crazy. You'll take way more damage and have survivability issues. So as such, like in my case, phase 14, I do need Flicker to survive. Yeah, and basically the way this works is that you have 2 breakers in the form of Ling and Rose. These 2 will be targeting the enemy. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so Rose will be focus opposite, right, which will be the boss, and Ling naturally targets the rearmost. So both of them will be breaking the boss right from the start. And then you have Echo to provide an offensive buff to the party with her skill and signature sigil. Abyssal Alicia obviously is your premium DPS. I forgot to mention Ling also lowers the enemy's Electro resistance, and so that can be very handy. And Flicker, in addition to tanking and shielding, she can also provide decent amount of DPS for handling the ads, so that can be quite useful for taking out all the ads by turn 2. Yes. In terms of builds, Flicker, her shields scale off of HP, so as such, for 6 I prefer to have HP, and 5 I prefer to have base HP, and I have, you know, a full defensive remodel set. And then for sigils, I have defense bonus, HP, speed. I could theoretically swap speed for, say, like shield enhance. I think that'd be more useful. I'll get around to that someday. And then for Ling, she many ways to build her. You can go full offense with 4 Electro, 2 attack percent, or you could run 2 tenacity break instead of attack percent, up to you. Try to go as offensive as possible with her because she does do decent damage. And this is, as you can see, a full offensive sigil and power. Pardon the plane that's flying overhead. Alright, and then moving on to Rose. So with Rose, You could either go full 4-piece Electro, 2-piece attack percent, or you could go 2-piece Tenacity Break instead of attack percent, and then go with as much offensive stats as possible. I've been trying to increase her crit rate, but I'm just getting really unlucky and I keep running out of remodels, but ideally you want as much crit on her as possible. And I decided to just keep this. Yeah. And then for Echo, there's many ways to build her. For me personally, having a 51% chance to turn off the enemy's ultimate energy burst, I do like that a lot, so I go with 4-piece precision set, make her a little bit tanky. However, you could also make her more offensive or make her even faster for PvP. I mean, you could go 2-piece Electro, 4-piece block rate, or precision set, you know, or whatever you want. She's very flexible. And sigils as such, you can make her more offensive or more defensive. Healing boost, I didn't intentionally do this, but she does passively heal the allies, so I just kept it, but you can make her more offensive or defensive if you so choose. And then Abyssal Alicia is going to be 4-piece Electro, 2-piece attack. Try to max out all the offensive stats, and this is my sigil in case you're interested. I do believe that this is probably the most optimal offensive combination you could have. You could also, instead of defense penetration, have lightning damage. That's pretty good. Yeah. Now, because Abyssal Alicia can revive, so if you want to increase the chance of her casting her energy burst on round 1, which she can certainly do, you can have her in the rear so that the enemy can bring her HP below 50%, and this can make it so that she has more pre-filled energy to burst on turn 1 if you desire. So that's pretty much it. I hope you found this video informative. If you need advice regarding your particular account, you can reach out to me on Discord. I am Chillax on Discord, or my Discord name is turtlelags #0587, so you can find me there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.